Hi, my name is Claire and I really like to knit. Today I have another quick podcast episode to show you quite a few things that I have made in the last month and some updates on my whip. So if you like this kind of podcast, keep watching. It's been a couple of weeks since my last podcast and I have made quite a few things. Firstly, I have finished my Anais sweater test knit for Gregoria Fibers. It is absolutely beautiful. I love the yarn that I used, which was woolly yarns. However, the pattern is still in testing, not released yet, so I won't talk about it too much now. It is behind Ollie's head, so maybe stand there and block it. No, all right. I'll sit over this side. Yeah, I don't know if it's a secret or not, but I guess I won't talk too much about it. It looks a lot like her Anais tee, which was released already, and this is the sweater version with some modifications. I really enjoyed knitting with it. It's a contiguous shoulder construction, and I've always wanted to do one, and that's the first time I've done it, and it was okay. Like, the instructions were clear enough. There were quite a few mistakes throughout the test knit, just little numbering issues, which some were picked up early, some were picked up after I already finished half of the jumper, so it's not exactly to the test knit, but it's fine. Like, I had to add a few stitches in the armhole to make it big enough for my arm, and just a few little things, but I think I am going to enjoy wearing it, and I'll potentially talk about it next time once it's released. However, I have finished two other projects which I have been meaning to finish. The first one is the Moonglow tank. Moonglow tea? Moonglow tank. Here you go. It is by Zanete knits. Last podcast I was probably up to here, and now it's all finished. I really like it. Really happy. It is, I used a woolly yarn. It is 80% linen, 13 silk, 6 cotton, and 1% lurex. So it's got this really thin strand of beautiful lurex fiber in there to give it a bit of shine. And it's linen, so it's quite stiff. I held it double because she wanted a DK weight, so I held it double, even though this is really more like a sport weight yarn. But I got gauge, and I think it looks great. I did give it a good soak, but it's still quite hard, so hopefully it'll soften with wear. And this woolly yarns yarn was 380 meters per 100 grams, so yeah, it's definitely was sport weight. I used 250 grams of it, holding it double, and yeah, it's just, I love it. It's just a really beautiful lace cable and eyelet pattern. You start from the back, so you start from the neck and then you increase downwards and knit all the way down to the armhole, increasing a couple of stitches here. And then you pick up left shoulder, knit to somewhere here, knit to here, pick up right shoulder, knit to here, and then you join it to knit the front piece back and forth up to the armhole. Do a little bit of increases for armhole and then join it in the round and knit in the round. This type of pattern is really popular in Norwegian knitting at the moment, and in a lot of patterns. I think it's called English tailoring, and I really like it. It's just I've made quite a few things that way. This slope here gives the back a really nice shape, and then when you pick up the front, you don't need to do any shoulder shaping, because naturally it creates a shoulder shaping because of the slope in the back here. So yeah, I like it. Now, it was fully charted. It was a really big chart, so I had to keep an eye on it the whole time. Some issues I had come across was mainly from the yarn. It is not twisted, so I keep splitting it. It is not easy to do lacer and cables when the yarn splits so easily, which you have probably heard me talk about many times, because none of the woolly yarns are twisted, and I seem to really like cables at the moment. So I had to pay attention a lot. Otherwise, it was pretty smooth sailing. I followed the pattern and did I-cord bind off for the two armholes and the neckline. I didn't do I-cord bind off for the hem though. That's because I usually like to tuck things in, and if you do I-cord bind off for the hem, it becomes really thick. So what I did was actually I found this on a Chinese social media website, It's just a no curl bind off. Yeah, basically you pick up a stitch from 2 rows below and knit it together, and it helps to create almost like a binding. And yeah, maybe I'll film it one day. Next time I do it, I didn't film it, but yeah, it was an interesting way to bind off, and it's not too thick and it curls a little bit but not too much. It's really cool to wear as well, even though it's DK, but being linen, yeah, and eyelets, it's really cool to wear. It's really warm here already in Australia. It's only early spring, we're already 27 degrees, so it's perfect for today. Now the second project that I have finished, I finished it. I haven't seen my friend yet. The second project was a pretty big one. Now this one I talked about quite a bit in my last podcast. What happened is my friend who lives overseas, she wanted me to knit her a jumper. It was a copy of her favorite jumper, which was falling apart after dry cleaning. So it was a chunky, oversized, easy cable cardigan. I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that, no problem. And I came through so many obstacles, but I got it done. It's all finished. Oh. And I'm catching up with her on Thursday. Today is Sunday, so plenty of time to spare. I think she'll really like it. And here it is here. It is really heavy. So a few things to note. This is a 16 stitch gauge, so like a worsted weight gauge. The yarn I chose was Woolly Yarn Super Cash. So I think it's superwash cashmere. What I didn't realize at the time, because I ordered online, this yarn is very, very slippery, and I had to hold 4 fingering strands to get that gauge. And that means I had to order double the amount of yarn that I thought I needed. This is 650 grams. It is one heavy jumper, like, because she's, for a size 1, she's similar size to me, just a little bit taller. So for a small person, 650 grams is a really heavy jumper. It has stretched out a little bit in the wash, just like I thought, which is perfect because she's taller than me, so now the sleeves are long enough. I did plan for it. I did not need the sleeves too short. I planned for it to stretch in the wash. So I guess the downside is really heavy, 650 grams. It may stretch over time. You probably have to wear it with the buttons closed because it's likely to fall off the shoulder, being so heavy and slippery. But otherwise, it looks amazing. Look at this. Color is amazing. The yarn is beautiful. I really like the cable that I swapped out. So her original design had a 4x4 cable, which will cinch the jumper in too much, and then we'll have to end up using more yarn to get the size I need. So I changed it into like a spirally column out of the Nora Gone's knit cable repeat book, which I think is beautiful. It's only ever 2x2. And so it doesn't pull the jumper in too much, and I think it looks really classy. I did ribbing all with the same needle because I was too lazy, but I think it still looks okay. Had to do a lot of calculations, measuring, counting, arm picking. It was a thing, and there were many times I thought I would never finish this, but I did, because on the last podcast that I said I would, and my friend is coming this week, so I had it done. It's all good. The buttons came off her previous jumper. It looks good, so I thought, why not just repurpose it? She's never going to wear the previous jumper again. So in the last podcast episode, I think I was only had the body done. No, I had one sleeve halfway done. I had the body done. So now I have finished the second sleeve and did the neckline. The neckline I bound off just normally because, yeah, couldn't do Italian bind off. Why didn't I do Italian bind off? Because I wanted to be a little bit tighter. Yeah, I wanted to be cinching in and keeping the shape, so not too stretchy because this yarn is too heavy. Otherwise, I think it looks really well finished. You can see a little bit of scalloping where the buttons are. Yeah, I think it's because the yarn is so soft. The yarn is soft, but it's heavy, so it's pulling the garment down and thus creating some kind of scallop weighted effect, which is pretty. I would tell her it's on purpose maybe, but yeah, I do quite like the scallop button effect, but that's just because the yarn is soft and heavy. Let me quickly show you the original. So this is this was the original jumper. You can see the 4x4 cable, yeah, and the fibers are falling apart. It's Joe Sanders and the fibers are just awful. I've taken the buttons out. So it was just a cropped little cardigan, oversized. She likes it oversized. And now this one. I think she'll be ecstatic. Yeah, so she says she's going to pay for the yarn and I'm gifting her my time. And boy, that was the time. It's very challenging. I have copied things before. I've self-drafted patterns before as well, and I just don't know why this one was hard. I think the biggest lesson I've learned is yarn matching. I bought this online and the yarn definitely did not match the original. That's why I had to change the gauge, had to change the style, and after blocking it changed size. So, yeah. Lesson learned, match the yarn if you're going to try and copy something. Yeah, even with the swatch, it wasn't working. So that is my 3 FOs. Now, I just want to tell you how many things I knitted in September. Let me just close. Okay, so today is the 29th of September, and I keep a record of everything I knit in a separate spreadsheet, and I've actually made 6 jumpers this month. That's quite a lot. I had no idea how I got it done. I mean, 2 of them were to finish something I started, but I've done 6 jumpers this month. So I've done the Prosco, which is my Jana color check, pattern not yet released. I've done the checkered test knit for Nora Gorn, again, pattern not yet released. I've done my Anais sweater, pattern not released. So that's 3 FOs I can't really talk about. But I have 3 that I did talk about. One was my Rainbow Surrey jumper from last week. I still love it. I've been wearing it a bit, but it sheds like crazy. I was wearing it with my linen shorts and it just, I had to wash the shorts straight away because it just somehow pulled all the fibers out. Yeah, that Surrey just sheds like crazy. I've never had a Surrey sheds like that before, but also never wear it with linen. And then I've got the Moonglow and my green cardi. So that's 6 jumpers. 5 of them are pretty complicated. So I've had a very productive month. My 2, these, what do you call it? In Chinese, they call no-name fingers, I guess, 4th finger. Anyway, the 4th finger, they're both very swollen, the joint here, and they look a little bit crooked. Like, I'm pretty sure this was a bit more straight before. I'm a little bit worried I have arthritis. I really should go and see a doctor. Pretty sure they were more straight. And look, they're wobbly. I can't even keep it still. Anyway, that's a later problem. Let's quickly move on to whip. And shockingly, I only have 1 active whip at the moment. I think I just had too many whips in the last few weeks and it was a bit overwhelming. So now I only have 1 whip. It's only been day 3 or 4 and I've made so much progress already. And it is the Fjolla jumper by Isabel Kramer. Yeah. I had made an adjustment. So I wanted to make another I wanted to try another contiguous shoulder construction, but again, I'm too lazy to come up with my own numbers. And even though I had a few ideas on what shape I wanted, I didn't want to do the numbers. So I bought the pattern and I changed it anyway, because in the pattern, it is a 21 stitch gauge with a sport weight or DK yarn. And I'm using a light fingering weight yarn. This is pure silk by woollyyarns.com, of course. This is pure silk and I've got 24 stitches. And the reason I chose this yarn is because I saw someone else on Ravelry knit it with a summery yarn and just making it into a t-shirt rather than a long sleeve. And I really wanted that because I have too many jumpers. So right now I'm on a summer knitting streak. Well, I don't have that many summer jumpers in September, but that is my intention, to knit more summer jumpers. So I chose the silk. It's a beautiful silk. I only had 150 grams, so it was perfect for a t-shirt. And then, so without having to redo the maths, I looked at the 24 stitch count. I took my 24 stitch count. I work out the final bust measurement I wanted. Then I work out what the stitch count is in the final bust measurement using a 24 stitch count. And I chose the size on the pattern that matches it. And I just knit that size. That's the quickest way to modify the size of a jumper in a pattern. So now I'm just knitting size 2, which I was quite surprised. I think it must have been pretty oversized to start with. So I'm just knitting a size 2. And I've already done so much. So it's a top-down contiguous construction with a lace panel on the shoulder, which goes all the way down the sleeve. So the increases are done on either side of the lace panels. You increase the front and back contiguously, and then once you get to the sleeves cap, once you get to the sleeve cap, you increase sleeves and shoulder and body at the same time. Anyway, all of that, and there's a little bit of lace in the front as well. Don't worry about that. Again, this yarn's not twisted. I have to be really careful not to split the yarn. It's dark. Knitting at night was hard because I keep splitting the yarn. You can't really see it, but there's quite a few places here where I split it. But I'll have to pick up the neck here later anyway, so I'll hide that bit. But yeah, a little bit of lace in the front. I actually missed a whole row of lace pattern, but you can't tell anyway, so don't tell anyone and no one will ever know. I haven't actually tried it on yet. I really should. I'm probably halfway down the body. It looks like about 12 centimeters. I'll go to about 30, and then whatever yarn's left, I'll do the sleeves. There's not that much yarn left, so I think it will be a short sleeve tee. It'll be drapey and summery, and I think it'll be perfect for when I go to Vietnam next week. Yeah, the next week I'm going to Vietnam for 10 days with my best friend who currently lives in Hong Kong and some of her friends. So it's going to be a little girls trip. I've never been to Vietnam before. My husband's not interested, so I'll go with some friends. And this will be perfect. Yeah. I don't know if I'll be bringing any knitting there because it's going to be so hot. And I have to create a whip to bring, something that's not too bulky so it's easy to travel with, but I don't need accessories too much, so maybe another summer project. I have a whole bunch of things in my queue, but they keep changing and shifting because I keep changing my mind. But yeah, I have today's Sunday, I leave the following Thursday, so I have about 10 days to figure out what I'm going to bring to Vietnam. Also try to look up knitting shops in Vietnam. No, I think it's too hot. There is no knitting culture there. There's some craft stores and like discount stores, but no proper knitting yarn shops, which is okay because I'm there to relax with friends and new friends. I'll be making new friends. Haven't made new friends for a while. I'm pretty antisocial, so yeah, but I think it'll still be fun. This is my Fjolla. I think it'll be finished within the next couple of days or so because it's very easy to knit, and now I'm just on the stocking part. Now I'm just on the stocking stitch part. It'll go quickly, and that's it. I do have one other whip that I haven't touched, so I might look at knitting on it, but it is a winter project and it's complicated cables. Will I knit on it? Maybe I'll just quickly show you. This is the Lacy Aran sweater by Hitomi Shida. I have shown you previously and I have made 0 progress since then. Yeah, very complicated design. I need to look at the book the whole time. It's bottom up. I just chose to knit it in the round rather than in pieces. I've already done one sleeve, so I just need to do the body and one sleeve and the cuff and hem because they actually pick up the hem and knit downwards. Yeah, it's actually a beautiful yarn and beautiful to knit with. I just need some kind of concentration, focus to knit this. The yarn is 100% cashmere by woollyyarns.com. It's a Laura Piana yarn. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So yes, that's all I got, and I didn't buy anything because I've been a good girl. I think no, I did buy something. It's just not here yet. I bought something from Ching Fibers website. They had a discount on their mistake yarn, not mistake yarn, test yarns. I think they were testing colorways and they're not going to do it again. So they had a whole bunch of them on sale, and I bought those. Got 4 skeins, 2 colorways. I got 2 of 2 different colorways. So 4 skeins of the what do you call it? It's the suri. It's the bulky suri that I have used before, and I love it. So I got 2 different colorways, and they will be coming soon, and they're going to be gorgeous. So that's the only acquisition I've got, and nothing else because I haven't been working, but I did get a job. So starting tomorrow, I will be going back to work, and potentially there won't be as many podcasts or if any. I'll see what the new workload is like and how I'm going to be balancing everything. But it's very exciting. finally getting back into work and doing something productive with my time. Not that knitting is not productive, but no, working is good too. I might edit this and put it out today. That means there won't be any footage of my friend trying it on. So I'll just put it on Instagram. If you want to make sure you follow me on Instagram, they can see my friend trying on her green cardigan and gush over it, hopefully. My Instagram is Claire Likes to Knit, underscore in between, underscore under each word. Thank you for watching and following my channel. I hope you have a lovely day filled with knitting.